Back in 2017, the Parks and Recreation Department of Round Rock took to Facebook to share mysterious images that showed unexplained phenomena in the form of large footprints in 3 of their parks and trails. According to a social media post by the Round Rock Parks and Recreation Department, the elusive humanoid that has been seen throughout various areas of North America may have been present in their area. A park ranger's surveillance footage captured some peculiar footprints, sparking curiosity among visitors. The department is now urging visitors to share any additional information regarding this mysterious phenomenon. 2 additional sets of images, one from Old Settlers Park Bright Lake and another from the Brushy Creek Trail, depict sizable footprints that were spotted during the previous days. Over a period of 3 days, from June 8th to June 10th, there were unusual footprints that were recorded by the surveillance cameras in several parks and trails located in the area. The image captured at Freeman Park displays a well-defined footprint, while the one captured at Brushy Creek depicts a comparison of a print to that of a park ranger's foot. Park rangers said they were confused by the finding, but urged people to be on the lookout for anything strange and told them to be careful about approaching local wildlife. Interestingly, since these photographs were posted, hikers and those interested in the unknown ventured into the park in order to see if they could track down what these tracks belonged to. Although there had been no humanoid creatures reported throughout the area during this finding, park rangers said that it's not uncommon for them to hear about stories of large humanoids and said that every other week someone allegedly has an encounter with one of these creatures. Although park rangers try to stay on the side of science when it comes to these sightings, saying that what hikers are most likely seeing is natural wildlife, they have said that the sightings and encounters are intriguing and say that when footprints like these are found in dense wooded areas in the United States, it fuels more theories to be put forward by those who believe in the creature. As of right now, the Parks and Recreation Department of Round Rock told its visitors to be on the lookout and said that if they have any further information on the matter, to contact them directly so that they can conduct further investigations. The Round Rock Parks and Recreation Department is a department of the city of Round Rock, Texas, USA, responsible for the management and maintenance of the city's parks and recreation facilities. The department offers a variety of programs and services to the community, including athletic leagues, fitness classes, summer camps, special events, and more. Some of the parks managed by the department include Old Settlers Park, a 570-acre park featuring a water park, sports fields, and playgrounds, along with Brushy Creek Lake Park, a 90-acre park with a fishing lake, trails, and picnic areas. Every culture from around the world contains legends of mythological humanoid beasts that often stood over 10 feet tall and were described as being some variation of a humanoid giant. In Greek mythology, they were referred to as the Titans. In ancient Judaism scriptures, they were referred to as the Nephilim. In Norse writings, they were known as the Jotuns. Though we might pretend that these ancient stories hold no relevance in the modern day, the truth is that strange sightings of giant humanoids can be found from all over the world, hiding inside dense forests, uninhabited jungles and mountaintops far away from prying eyes. The mystery of the creature known as Old Yellow Top. First spotted in September of 1906, local residents of the Cobalt, Ontario region began telling stories of a series of unusual encounters with an estimated 7-foot-tall wild ape-man creature that would encroach on their property for food. Known as the Old Yellow Top, the humanoid giant was described as being completely covered in brown hair, with the exception of its face, neck and head covered in golden yellow hair. According to reports from the early 1900s and up into the early 1970s, Old Yellow Top was sighted consistently over a 64-year period before completely disappearing from the region. The first report surrounding Old Yellow Top was made by a number of original settlers who founded the town of Cobalt while silver mining operations were beginning, claiming that the creature had been seen throughout the region by a number of early settlers. The next series of reports would come during July of 1923, when 2 men, J.A. Macaulay and Lorne Wilson, began expanding their mining claims up northeast of the Vettlaufer mine. As they were taking test samples of soil deposits, they claimed to have seen a bear-like creature foraging through naturally growing blueberry bushes. In an attempt to scare away the bear, Lorne Wilson grabbed a nearby stone and threw it at the creature. After being hit, the creature stood up on its hind legs, and its humanoid shape and blonde hair could be seen clearly before it ran off in fear. Across the nearly 64-year period in which the creature was sighted, Old Yellowtop had never attacked a single witness. It is for these reasons that legends of the creature are told from an understanding and curious point of view, and not that of a frightening monster lurking in the woods. The Jericho Roadman bears are often described as standing at a height of 6 to 8 feet and are capable of running on all 4 legs or on their hind legs. The primary location of the sightings of the creature were reported during the early 1960s, surrounding an isolated road located in the small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. The Jericho Roadman bears are believed to be similar to a North American black bear, but is estimated to be slightly larger, with the ability to walk and run on 2 legs, and is often described as possessing a dog-like face with an elongated snout. Back during the early 1960s, residents living within the small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, surrounding a road named Jericho Road, claimed to have encountered and to have been attacked by a creature that fits the description of the modern-day Dogman sightings. Referred to as the Jericho Roadman bear, the creature was commonly described as being covered in thick black fur, similar in texture to the wool of a ram, but larger than a bear. However, what stood out most about the creature was that oftentimes the animal was spotted walking around on 2 hind legs, similar to a human being, but only seen running when on all 4 appendages. It was not until 1964 that a local reporter to the town of Point Pleasant, a young woman by the name of Mary Heyer, began collecting a series of witness statements on the monster's activities. It was during these initial investigations that Mary Heyer began to notice a peculiar pattern to the creature's behaviors, believing that its primary hunting grounds was located around the area of the 3.1-mile-long winding black top of the old Jericho Road, considering that the majority of sightings took place on the properties surrounding the area. It was believed that the creature only became active around night and was often encountered after sunset, when the creature would reportedly attack the livestock of nearby farmers. Originally believing that the sightings of the creature could have been evidence of a West Virginian Bigfoot visitation, Mary Heyer continued gathering witness statements on the creature in the hopes of publishing several articles in the Athens Messenger, a local newspaper outlet for the small town of Point Pleasant, but was immediately met with resistance. During that same year as the sightings of the Jericho Road man bears, Mary Heyer published several articles on sightings of other creatures throughout the area, including the Mothman and the hundreds of reported sightings of unidentified flying objects. Unfortunately, before Mary Heyer was able to publish her stories surrounding the Jericho Road man bears, the local reporter claimed to have been visited by 2 men dressed in black suits that claimed to have worked for the United States Air Force. These 2 unidentified men would go on to harass and threaten Mary Heyer, warning her not to publish any more stories surrounding paranormal or supernatural occurrences, as the concealment of such information was considered to be an issue of national security. Fearing for her personal safety, Mary Heyer never released her stories, but many of the local residents would go on to talk about their encounters with the creature. It was not until the early 2000s that the topic of the Jericho man bears would become relevant once more. Researcher and published author George Dudding would return to the small town of Point Pleasant while investigating the legends of the Mothman in the hopes of collecting first-hand witness accounts of many of the sightings made back in the late 1960s. However, it was during these investigations that he became aware of a series of sightings of a strange humanoid creature referred to by the local residents as the Beast of Jericho. According to those living near the abandoned TNT area of Point Pleasant, there had been a series of livestock attacks made over the course of several decades throughout the area. The attacks had progressed to such a point that many of the farmers in the region claimed to come together to hunt down the beast to prevent it from causing any more damage to their farms, but were unable to track the beast regardless of where it had been sighted. Unfortunately, as Dudding continued to investigate the area, many of the farmers began to grow suspicious of him and refused to tell them their personal stories of the beast, fearing that Dudding could have been intending on bringing more people around to investigate the strange sightings. After spending several more days studying the property lines of the region and noticing the strange clumping of sightings specifically recorded around Jericho Road and the TNT area of Point Pleasant, one of the farmers agreed to anonymously speak to Dudding about one of the many encounters he had experienced over the years. According to the anonymous farmer, it was fairly common that after sundown, strange sounds could be heard coming from the nearby woods. Sometimes, it would sound like screeching and howling from a large but unknown creature. Other times, it would sound like the shriek of a woman or banshee. On one of the nights that the howling and screeching could be heard, he had seen a large figure roaming near the woods located at the back of his property. Paying no attention to the creature, the next day he discovered some of his livestock had been killed and eaten by a wild animal that would leave behind massive bite marks. After several months, the attacks became increasingly frequent, forcing him to stake out the backside of his property, waiting for the animal to return. On one night, while patrolling the area on a four-wheeler, armed with a weapon, he spotted the creature attacking one of his animals, but due to how dark it was unable to accurately identify the creature. However, after firing off several rounds towards the beast, it ran off into the woods and disappeared. Believing that he encountered something far more supernatural than he previously anticipated, he stayed quiet about the series of attacks until one day when he caught sight of the creature in greater detail. According to the farmer, the animal appeared to have been a hairy bipedal giant with horns coming out from the top of its head. It appeared to have been a dark brown or black color and would strike at the animal similar to a bear. After firing at the creature and scaring it away for good, the farmer decided to ask neighboring farmers if they had experienced anything similar. At first, his neighbors were hesitant to openly talk about their encounters, but over the years, he came to discover that nearly all of the surrounding neighbors had experienced similar occurrences with the mysterious beast. So, what do you make of these mysterious encounters, and what do you make of these footprints? Do you think they are genuine, or do you think they were faked? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.